But regardless, Declan Rice, I think we're agreed, is on the move this summer, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
What would be... There's conjecture that it's Chelsea, that it's going to be Arsenal, it could be Liverpool, it could be Manchester United. Would he be an automatic starter for Arsenal ahead of Thomas Partey or Granit Xhaka?
I don't think it matters. Because if Arsenal are on the trajectory they're on, and they have the ambition to move forward and be regular contenders in the Premier League and start playing Champions League football every season, you can't rely on three midfielders.
But he's a big name. Should he not be categorising or prioritising playing time, status?
I think he would have total belief he'd get in that team and play every week. I mean, Partey's injury record isn't great. He's on a good run at the moment, but he hasn't had a full season. So I'd have no qualms that Declan think he'd get in ahead of Partey if he went to Arsenal.
Do you think he's a good fit? Do you think him going to Arsenal is a good fit? You do?
Brilliant fit, yeah. There's so much to like about Declan's game and his attitude, and everything about his game is suitable to all the teams, because everybody needs wonderful athletes who are technically good and have hunger and desire to succeed and win trophies. I mean, what more could you put on a list other than goals? You know, as a perfect midfielder and a personality with a good family around him and good people around him. There's not really the big clubs you've just mentioned. Arguably City at the moment probably don't need another one, but that's always evolving. City players come and go if they think, they're always looking ahead. Every one of those clubs you've mentioned could do with him. He'd get in Chelsea's team, he'd get in Liverpool's team now. He'd get in United's team and play alongside Casemiro. And what a partnership that would be.
Yeah.
And long term, I mean, what is he, 24?
Yeah. Our own Tony Cascarino is suggesting Chelsea. Chelsea is where Rice would thrive. Another team who need a deep midfielder. A team that needs to be balanced. And
well, the blessing with Declan is...
With people like Reece James, Ben Chilwell back.
Yeah, the blessing
there's
with
your
Declan...
man slot in front of them.
He doesn't have to just play defensive. I think he's got more to him. I think he would score more goals. He is very good at spotting danger, covering his back players. But he could play in a midfield with Rodri and De Bruyne and be the one who goes after... Imagine him going after people and pressing them. If he had the freedom to use that athleticism higher up the pitch. And then winning balls back in a good team, he'd score double figures at Man City or a good side. Chelsea at the moment, although they've got great ambition with what they're spending, the thing with Declan, he's a Chelsea fan, and he's best friends with Mason Mount, and he's from the area. So, as a young footballer, you'll dream about playing for the team you support. So that's the big plus Chelsea have got. But from a footballing perspective, although you think they should be competitive moving forward because the amount of players they're buying, it doesn't look at the moment appetising to me. I mean, other than the wages.
What's your hunch? I know behind the scenes you talk to some people who are close to Declan.
Well,
what's your hunch?
My hunch really at the moment is Arsenal, because I think deep down when you're from a certain area and you're quite young, you might want to stay around your family that have supported you. I mean, they'd move mid if we went up north, but maybe that Arsenal thing has become much more attractive. And actually, what you said at the beginning, probably looks at that midfield and thinks, I can get in that team comfortably.
And from a football perspective,
well,
is that the most exciting outcome?
The most exciting would be always to play for your childhood team. You can't, if you've loved football growing up, you know what it's like if you love a team.
Yeah.
You've always pictured yourself.
I get that. You get that. You owned the team that you grew up loving because of your dad.
Yeah, that's right.
Who played for them.
Yeah. I just got a sneaking suspicion, and I don't think he'll end up at Arsenal. I got a sneaking suspicion that if Manchester United continue to progress and can knock on the door of something significant this season, which has surprised me they've done it as quickly as they're doing it. And I think it's also to do with the fact that we've got a slightly strange season on our hands where other clubs are underperforming on a basis that we didn't think they would, namely Liverpool. Man City have hit a slight funk, which has surprised people, and there's some background noise coming out there that everything's not quite right. I wouldn't be surprised if United do something decent this season, win a cup, perform decently in Europe, high up in the Premier League. I'll be surprised if they win it, but this is a strange season, so I wouldn't rule him out of it. That he could occupy a quarterback role at Manchester United.
Yeah. The only thing is, if you're looking at moving out of, if you go to Manchester and you think if City and United were interested, for example, you're thinking from a footballing perspective that moving forward, United could do this. Yeah. City are there. And if you want to win trophies and you think, I want to start winning trophies now,
Is he in the conversation for City though? Has he ever been in the? I don't think has he been?
Yes.
Yes, he has. Okay.
Yeah, I think there has been some interest in previous. I'll tell you the other fascinating thing about it, and you'll know more than me. In terms, I mean, his contract's another year down, so the negotiation becomes harder for West Ham. Arguably, is West Ham.
They'll trigger an option, won't they? They've got another option for another
but that
year.
would only leave it at 2 years.
Yeah, so they're
in a good box seat, but
the numbers are being talked down now.
Yes, partly because of West Ham's poor season.
Yeah,
he's not been at his own high level. Still the best player, but not at the high.
I just don't believe anyone was going to pay 100 million for Declan Rice anyway.
Probably not. But you sometimes think, in the moment, when an opportunity comes, I'm talking from West Ham's perspective.
Yeah, should they have capitalised it?
Yeah.
But they were in a decent position at that time. They've got a new investor in the business. So West Ham were looking at it. Sullivan and God rest his soul, David Gold, were adamant that this was not the time for Declan Rice to go, and they wanted to build a team around Declan Rice. They knew that they were potentially going to sell a significant slug of West Ham, and probably to the ultimate owner in the longer game. And so with all that in mind, there wasn't a necessity to sell Declan Rice. I really don't genuinely believe that anyone would have paid 100 million for Declan Rice, despite all the hot noise. And I know the West Ham fans will disagree with me vehemently on this, but I think we're now talking about levels of between 70 and 80 million quid, and that will make a deal happen. Now, your argument would be West Ham could have got £20 million more, possibly, or even 25, 30 million pounds more, because the market was hot for Declan Rice at that time. But Declan Rice is still a very desirable commodity in lots of people's minds.
I agree. 100%.
And so with that in mind, what they'll be able to do is they'll be able to engender competitive tension. So if Chelsea want him, Man City want him, Man United want him, they'll all cut one another's throats, won't they?
Yeah.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.